Welcome to Unlock Your First Six Figures morning show. I am your host, Shay Cannon. I'm an award-winning fractional chief operating officer with the exclusive clientele of 6 and 7 figure CEOs. However, I have a mission. That mission includes you, small business owners and entrepreneurs who are spinning their wheels and struggling to get to the first 6 figures in business. I want to show you how to make the money and create time freedom. That's make the money and create time freedom. My freedom looks like living and working my business from anywhere in the world. I'll spare you the details of my 5 years of doing that, but just know I am currently living my best life and working my best business in Mexico. Okay. Now, Blog Talk has already been released, so you know what the subtopic is. However, everything starts with the blog. The blog for this week is at shaycannon.com/2024 trends with an S, okay? TRENDS. Come on, except it's Alabama, all right? So, put that in. Okay, let's let LaFera in. The trends, because what we're talking about is like we have survived a pandemic, we have survived a recession, right? And we kind of need to know like what are the great predictions that the experts are having for 2024 so that we can get ready and leverage that knowledge, right? It's nothing like being an early adopter of stuff. There's nothing like being ready for stuff as it comes, right? So I am your expert giving you 4 predictions about 2024. You can always Google 2024 small business trends and see what other people are saying, but this is what I'm saying. So yesterday, what we talked about is the fact that you need to be focused on sustainability and growth. We talked a lot about that last week, about the 4 priorities you should have right now in this post-recession phase. But I gave you a prediction around sustainability and growth. If you want that prediction, go to yesterday's replay, okay? My second prediction is around time freedom. And oh, how I love it. Y'all know it's the second part of my mission because I want to help you to do what? Make the money and create time freedom. And my time freedom is vast, right? And so I want you to have time freedom. But the crazy thing is that the research is showing and the trends are showing that more and more small business owners and entrepreneurs are going to lean toward the way of time freedom. Okay. So now more than ever, entrepreneurs are less willing to be in the hustle. Okay. They don't want to be team no sleep to reach their goals. All right. They have figured out how to, well, not, they haven't figured out how, but they have figured out that you can build a business that's built around the freedoms that you want to have. Like some of us went into business to have certain freedoms and don't have them, right? So what they're finding out is that if you build a business on hustle, you're going to need that same hustle to sustain that business, right? How you build your business is how you're more than likely going to have to keep it going, right? To have the same results. So if you take your freedom into account and you build your business around that freedom, okay, then you're holding that freedom precious and you have made room for your freedom. So entrepreneurs are looking to create space for rest and rejuvenation, right? Some of them are doing monthly sabbaticals in a year, right? They go away for a month in a year. Right. I'm looking at having mine in December every year. I know people are driving in December to get the last few squeezes out of revenue. I don't want that. I want to be off in December. Okay. So think about, can you have a month-long sabbatical somewhere in the year? Some people are taking quarterly vacations. I already do that. I call them 5th week vacations, right? That ends up being 1 week out of every quarter that I am off, regardless of what's going on. Okay. So that could be one flex of your freedom. Some people are flexing their boundaries around their business hours and their business days, right? Because freedoms don't have to be every now and then. They don't have to be a rare occasion. What does your everyday routine freedom look like, right? Are you actually stopping work when you say you're going to stop work? Are you getting done and being productive in the 6 to 8 hours that you're giving yourself of business hours? Or are you squirreling out and now you're behind a computer 14, 16 hours in a day, right? So are you honoring your day, your business days and your business hours? So with the realization that health really is wealth, right? Because let me tell you, that's one of the things you start to recognize when you start making money in your business. You start to recognize that money is still not a replacement for your health. So if you are driving your health down to make money, that's counterintuitive, right? You need both to actually be wealthy. Both, yes. So I see people flexing their time freedom more. I see people exploring the world more. I see people spending more time with the people they love more. I see people spending time doing what they love to do more, in addition to having a business, okay? Auntie Shaky says it's hard for me to build back momentum when I take off. I need a little bit of action. Yeah, but guess what? Either you're going to stop and make room for you to be revitalized, or guess what's going to happen? Your body going to stop you, or your brain going to stop you. You're going to have to build momentum again anyway, right? So you can put in there, you know, some SOPs, some standard operating procedures that get you revved back up. Right? What is the formula to get you revved back up so that you can take risks? And when you come back, you rev yourself back up, right? You work, and then you take rest again and you rev yourself back up. So figure out what that is, Auntie Shaky, right? So for me, I'll tell you, it's about me while I'm in the spirit of working, either going ahead and knocking out some small things, but not working too long, or going ahead and leaving that list of, while I'm still in the spirit of working, what I would have completed if I had more time. So when I come back to work, I have the list. I'm not having to search around and, you know, kind of figure out what I need to do next. I already have a list of priorities that I left the last time I was in the spirit and energy of working, right? So that's something that you can try, Shaky. But let's talk about it, ladies. I would love to know, what is the freedom that you actually became an entrepreneur to have? And are you flexing that freedom yet? Right? So what is the freedom that you became an entrepreneur to have? And are you flexing that freedom yet? Because next year is all about time freedom. So now is the time for you to be planning to bring that freedom into fruition if it's not already. So I'll start with Auntie Shaky. Auntie Shaky, what is the freedom you went in business to flex, and are you flexing it? You just talking to us and you look so cute. Can you unmute?
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you very much.
You know what? Can I be honest with y'all this morning? Because
Please.
I got some canned stuff that I could say, and then I got some stuff that I really want to say. Okay. But honestly, I believe that I got into this home ownership to flex on my mama. I ain't even gonna lie.
Okay.
And I'm doing that.
Okay. Now you said you got into home ownership.
I
Do
mean,
you
I'm
mean
sorry, not home
insurance?
ownership. I'm saying entrepreneurship, into
Okay, yes.
entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
I saw my mother being an entrepreneur my entire life, and she would stop and start, stop and start,
Mm-hmm.
stop and start. And she never got good at any one thing. And so I got into entrepreneurship. Anyway, there's some toxicity in the relationship, but I
But you
got,
being honest, that's all you asked. Could you be honest? We said yes.
so I said, you know what? Let me try this out. Let me try this out, because she seems to think that, I don't have a whole lot to give or offer, but let me see if I could do it better than her. And am I flexing that? I am. I am. Every time I decide, like I was just on the Delta app the other night. Hey, what does it take for me to get to Bahrain so I could go see my son? Like, just doing random trips, you know what I'm saying? For no absolute reason. And then let me take some photos and post it on social media so all the world will know that I stay moving and looking good while doing it. So, so yeah, that's my answer.
All right. And ain't nothing wrong with it. I love it. I love the authenticity of it. Okay. Because you got to know yourself and you got to know the truth about yourself. Lie to everybody else if you want to, but don't lie to yourself. Okay. It's crazy because my story is a little different in that I saw my grandmother. She was a teacher, a lifelong teacher. But you know, she was a teacher during the time when she was getting all this education and never made it to a principalship, right? Because they weren't about to let her overeducated Black self be a principal at that time. And so I saw her go to entrepreneurship as a way to do what she wanted to do, how she wanted to do it. But she was never profitable. She didn't really know how to run a business, right? But it was almost like a hobby, right? It just made her happy to have this store that she felt like one day she was going to open, when really she was just a hoarder with a commercial business building. But hey, that's another thing. But yeah, so when I came into being an entrepreneur, I was very aware of how not to do it, right? So that's my legacy. But she is definitely the one that inspired me, because it brought her so much joy, even though it brought her not a nary of a dime. Okay, let's go to Dr. LaFera. Dr. LaFera, what freedom did you go into entrepreneurship to experience?
I guess I went into entrepreneurship not because it was my choice. I went into it because I live in Mississippi, and being the only Black doctor who does what I do, I didn't have my contract when my chairman left, and so I was into entrepreneurship. I just didn't know it. So I I've done a few things. I've opened up a restaurant. I guess that's where my knowledge that I was decent at food came from, because I was also the chef over there too. And so I did that for a couple of years, and then when I got a job, I started traveling. I don't have my own medical traveling company, but I don't travel anymore because I have my daughter.
Who just turned
So
5 yesterday. Shout out to the baby.
yeah. And so, like, I became an author, and I started getting coaches and everything because
You
I
making me
started
get lost. What was the freedom you wanted?
well, it wasn't initially for freedom. It was initially for just to find something to do. But when I got into it, I started to see that, well, I could be in control of what happens to me, just because I don't have, like, the stable job that I went into medicine to have, didn't mean that I couldn't, create my own path. And so I do have freedom in that I do have, like, a steady income in medicine. But to me, my freedom looks like even being outside of that and being able to create other things that even outpace what medicine does for me, because too much has happened to me for me not to help other people to get what they are. And to me, that freedom looks like helping others to find their best health, and then for me to be able to financially move even further past where I am without being an employed physician.
I love that. So freedom of making money the way you want to, and freedom to serve the way that you want to. I love that,
Right.
Dr. LaFera. That's good. That's awesome. Glow, what is the freedom that you want now that you didn't quit that 9 to 5 and you in full-time entrepreneurship? What is the freedom that inspired you to become a full-time entrepreneur?
Um, my kids,
Okay.
being able to spend more time with them, and knowing that I can make my own schedule and to be able to do the things that I want to do.
Love it. Thank you, Glow. Kimberly, I don't know if you're where you can come off the mic. If not, please use the chat. Let us know, what is the freedom that you went into entrepreneurship to flex? While you're typing, we'll go to your business bestie over here on Facebook, because Tracy Powell is like, yes. And she said her time freedom, she's not flexing it yet. I've got to get out of worker mode and get into owner mode by being more productive towards purpose and prosperity. Now, you might not be flexing it yet, Tracy, but tell us what you went into entrepreneurship to flex, right? So let me know what that freedom looks like for you, Tracy. Kimberly said, happy birthday to the baby. I have to drop. We'll catch the replay. Have a great day, everyone. All right, Kimberly, we'll catch you tomorrow. Dewana, what is the freedom you went into entrepreneurship to flex, and are you flexing it? Let's see if Dewana can come off the mic. There you go.
I was gonna say, y'all know I be over here pushing, and my button never pops. But I actually went into entrepreneurship. It went into me. I lost my job during COVID, and then every time I thought I wanted to get another corporate job, and I came out of corporate. Every time I got another corporate, then I lost another job a year later. Well, let's see. So I lost my job during COVID, and I started my business. And I was already working it, sort of, kind of. I just got more into it. And then I tried to get another job, and every time I tried to get a job, it didn't want to have me. So I said, I guess that means God doesn't want me to have one. So I just kept working it. And I also realized that I make more money working for myself than I do working for somebody else. So it's just the freedom of the freedom that I have. And I just gave in and said, okay, let's just make this thing work. And I just keep plugging it out. And I genuinely have been making more money every year, year over year. So I just said, okay, God, we doing this, and it just keeps working. So that's it.
All right.
But it's the freedom of time to just be that flexibility that is the most important for me.
Love it. Love it. Stacy said she's sorry she's been missing y'all. She's been having power outages over there in Africa. She's trying to catch up while the power is still trying to work in her favor. But she said she went into entrepreneurship not by choice, but I will never go back. All right, y'all are answering what pushed you into entrepreneurship, but y'all not telling me about this freedom. Y'all know today is about time freedom, right? Okay, so Stacy, I want to know the freedom that you either want now that you're in entrepreneurship, or that you're already flexing. And so the same thing from you, Tracy. Tell us what the freedom is. Mo says, good morning, ladies. Man in the house. I don't know why he think we ain't got no masculine energy already. I mean, my energy, let me stop playing. Okay, so Dr. Tachi, what freedom did you go into entrepreneurship to flex, and are you flexing it?
Yeah, the freedom, the financial freedom without limits. Because
Yes.
when you are a professor or working for anybody else, you will never make more than that company, and you will only make what they give you. So therefore, you're already told what you're worth in a monetary sense. And I said, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus, and I'm just going to go on and do it exactly. I'm going to do that on my own. So that was it. And then in terms of what I also want to do, I also want more time freedom. So this is what I will work on this year.
Love it. Love it. Ray, you've had varied careers. But what time freedom is it that makes you stay dipping in and out of entrepreneurship? And oh, she already put it in the chat. Let me read this here then. Because Teray is at the dentist with her son. So let's see. Although my husband has provided a cushy life for me with the freedom to do what I want, I have had the freedom for years. I really been able to do what I want when I want. The ability to take care of my son and make sure he gets what he needs and get him to where he needs to go in life. Now I can also travel as much as I want as well. So awesome. That's awesome freedom. All right, Auntie Shaky, I'm almost afraid to ask you about your freedom you be flexing. So let me see. I'll make it a little harder for you, Auntie Shaky. So we know you have freedom to travel wherever you want to travel, right? We know you have the freedom of high income. What's a freedom that is not income related or travel related that you're able to flex as an entrepreneur? Auntie Shaky, our rich Auntie Shaky.
A freedom I can flex that is not money related
or travel related.
You know what? Just the knowledge of how money works, just the understanding like leverage and the power of leverage. Like, I feel like that's a whole flex. I just got off a book club where we're reading this book. It's called Made Whole by the Budgetnista. And there's so many people that, slow walk their way to wealth. And I just want to flex and say that there's a shortcut to this. There's different ways to do this. So I don't know if that's that's a flex that I definitely can can do. And then also I love being outside. Like what my freedom allows me to always be outside in different rooms and, you know, rubbing shoulders with, you know, people of influence and thought leaders and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, maybe that's what I'm thinking right now.
I like that. I like that. I just wanted you to give another view that wasn't like traveling, wasn't money. So that was great. Thank you, Auntie Shaky. Rich Auntie Shaky in the house. All right, Heather, what freedoms did you go into entrepreneurship to have, and are you flexing them?
So I went into entrepreneurship for professional joy, because at the time I was working at a law firm and it was sucking the life out of me in the pandemic. Like I was so traumatized by having to work at that stupid dining room table, I left it behind when I moved. So I wanted professional joy. I have found that. I work with that. Well, professional joy has led to a number of things, because that one decision led me to sitting here talking to you today, right? Like that would not have happened. I wouldn't know all these badass women had I not done that, right? So it has increased the joy that I originally wanted. So I think I flex it pretty regularly by letting people know.
I love that. I love that. Stacy came back and said, I had time freedom, but since we have grown, that freedom is going away. I want financial freedom and increased time freedom. So I love that she brought that up, right? Because sometimes we have a lot of freedom when we first start our business. Why? Because we ain't got a lot of clients. Okay. So when your business start to grow, you still want that freedom, and you still have to do what you got to do to have the freedom. Okay. So I want to share with you, Heather looks frozen. Am I froze, y'all? Somebody come off the mic and tell me, am I frozen?
You're not frozen.
Okay, that's just it, because y'all know my internet been janky as hell lately. All right. Tracy said, being able to freely help others realize their purpose through understanding holistic wealth. I want the freedom to travel, freedom to do self-empowering retreats when I want. The freedom to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. That's what I'm talking about right there. Now that's an explanation for your butt right there. So I love all of that. So for me, it was definitely about time freedom, but it was also about, kind of like Dr. LaFera said, right? Freedom to serve, but in the way that I wanted to, that I felt like was going to be impactful, right? I definitely wanted time freedom. Y'all know what my freedom looks like. However, the point that Stacy made, as your business grows, it can take away from your freedom. So you need to be about the business of making sure that you still have freedoms in all phases of growth, right? So you got to adapt, right? You got to, before you know it, you're working and you're not flexing freedom. And then so when you realize that now you got to put things in place so that you can get that freedom back. It's going to be a forever balancing act so that you can have harmony, right? It's never going to be even, but you do want harmony. My biggest problem is that I love business. I love business. I'm researching it on my off time. I'm thinking about it all the time. I'm thinking about y'all's businesses, all the things. My business, I love business. But what I found out was, if I don't make time to have a break from business, even though I love it, my brain is not getting a break. My body is not getting a break, because I can sit here at this desk and be just as happy for 14, 16 hours working on business. But that's not what my body is made for, right? My mind craves to have a break from business. So I have to go back to inserting those rest periods, respecting my own business hours, right? And respecting the business hours means you have fewer hours to work. So guess what? Now you have to respect the actual production time and get the work done during that time, right? You'll squirrel out less during the time that you're supposed to work if you allow yourself to squirrel out in the time that you're supposed to be off, right? But see, what some of y'all are doing is you're not really getting your work done during your work hours. And so it's spilling over into the time you're supposed to be off. And then when you sum up how much work you did all day, you could have just did it during the work hours. Okay. So get it together. All right. Get it together. But yeah, so that's some of the freedoms that I want to flex. So it's a shame for me to live in these great exotic places, and then I don't do things that look like freedom to me. Right. So sometimes I have to remind myself, because another thing about me, y'all, is I have grown into a big hermit. Like I cannot go outside for weeks at a time. especially now that I can go to the rooftop and I can see the water. Like I can just see it. I don't need sand. I can see my water and I'm just fine. I'm also not gonna get my ass in that water. I watch too much Discovery Channel. Y'all can have it. The orcas now swim on the shore. I ain't got time for y'all. Okay. So I can see it, and that's kind of enough for me. So now what I had to do is I had to institute a work away day to make sure at least once a week I got up out of here, right? And I work at the beach in the sand, feet in the sand. I do work at the beach. And so it's amazing how when you finally do it, how rejuvenating it is for your soul, how much more creativity comes because you did it. Okay. I'm about to reinstitute these weekly massages. It's about to be heavenly over here, okay? But if you're not taking advantage of the freedoms, then what are you working for, right? So there's another saying that I have, which is, if you ain't doing no work and you out partying and you out doing this and you out having fun, what the hell are you celebrating? Because you ain't did no work, right? But the reverse of that is, if you're doing work, why aren't you celebrating? Okay? So Mo said, for Shay, I know one of her flexes is to be able to tell anyone to get the F out of her face. That's just life, boo. They ain't got nothing to do with work. I've been like that since I was 2 years old. Stacy said the whales. Yes, the whales, man. But anyway, so I have business. Let me share my screen because y'all know I need to update this with the new 2024 dates. But I flex my business boundaries so that I can have more freedoms. Okay. So I let them know what my mission is, right? So this page goes to all of my clients. Okay. This page, portions of this page is in their contract. Portions of this page is in the signature of my email. I'm always reminding you what my boundaries are. So when you be like, I tried to get in touch with you, why couldn't I? Let me refer you back to your contract. Let me refer you back to these business hours. Okay. So time zone. I only operate in Eastern Daylight Time Zone. I don't care where I am in the world. And guess what? I don't care where you are in the world. So I had a client that you often worked on the West Coast. Baby, it jacked me up for a whole weekend. I had to learn. I done worked all day in my time zone. Now I got to work all in hers. Baby, no, I ain't finna do it. I learned. I only work in one time zone. Okay. Business hours, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Okay. I might work to 4, but understand that from 2 to 4 is a luxury if I'm answering and talking to you. Okay. Because that ain't about you. My client communication responsiveness is only Monday through Thursday. Friday is no talk Friday. Okay. And it's only between 10 and 2. So guess what? When you wait until the last minute at 4 o'clock sending me something, don't expect to hear from me. I don't care if I am online. I don't have to talk to you. Okay. Communication. I let them know where to talk to me. Okay. Social media is not for my business communication. Don't come in my DMs talking about business and thinking I'm going to understand and find that information when I'm working on your project. It's not in the project management system. So I don't know where it is. I'm not going to find it. Okay. So beware if you're a retainer client, a project client, and you inboxing me on Facebook about your project. I'm not responsible for that communication. I'm probably going to open it up, look at it so you can see I saw it and not answer it. Or if I answer it, I'm going to go right back to where you were supposed to put it, copy it over there and answer it. Okay. For immediate short form type of communication, that's like text. I used to have Voxer, now I have Slack. Okay. But if your company and you're my retainer client, if your company has short form stuff, I'll be in there. I have a client that has Messenger. I have another one that uses WhatsApp, right? For long form thoughts, especially with attachment documentation, I need you to use email. And guess what? Send it to mine or the email I have as your COO. So y'all got to know, I got a bunch of emails as COO, right? So I need to know where to go and look for things. Project-based tasks, information, and documents, go in the project management system. Mine is Asana, right? I have I have one client, theirs is Asana also because I set it up. I have another client that uses Teams for short-term communication, and they use FreeCamp for their project management. Okay, but I need all your stuff for a project to be in one place, right? No talk Fridays. We kind of talked about this, but I don't talk to clients on Fridays. I might work on Fridays. As y'all know, I hold work sessions in the community on Fridays. So I'm not going to do a client meeting on Friday. I'm working. What y'all know about meetings is some of those meetings could have been an email, and also even the important meetings get in the way of you focusing on getting the work done. So do you have a day that you are not taking meetings so that you can have a day you can fall back on to get work done? Okay. Meetings. All my meetings are scheduled. I'm less likely to take a meeting that's like, hey, can I meet with you today sometime after 2? No. My day has already been planned. I plan my week on Sundays. Most likely, I can't take impromptu meetings. It's going to mess up the flow of what I already had planned. And let me tell y'all something about letting people interrupt what you plan. When you plan stuff, it's for the stuff that you said you were going to do, the stuff that you know you owe, right? And when they pop up and add stuff, guess what they don't care about? They don't care that they popped up and add stuff. They still want what they added, and they want what you originally was supposed to do. So if you don't make sacred that time to get it done, what ends up happening is it looks like you didn't get them all that they paid for. You have to respect your boundaries, your own boundaries, okay? So meetings, all of my clients have routine meetings. It's every Tuesday from 12 to whatever. It's every Wednesday from 1 to whatever. And guess what? If you cannot make your routine weekly meeting, you might want to tell me the week before so I can find a time in my schedule. If not, see you next week. Guess we emailing, okay? Because my week is already planned. That allows for freedom. Do y'all see where the planning and the boundaries come into play with you having the time freedom? All right. So routine meetings outside that time are subject to availability, right? Meetings and virtual events outside of business hours is a no for me. So, you know what I'm saying? It depends on what's happening. I'm not ingratiated to attend your weekend virtual summits if I don't have the time. Or, hey, I might have my own virtual summit. I might have travel plan. Right? So you can't just as a client up and say, I got a virtual summit. Can you show up and help me? Nope. Want to plan that thing months in advance and let me know. Right? Because I don't have to. Okay. For tax reasons, I spend extremely limited time in the United States. This time is usually planned a year out in advance and does not include client in-person events or support. I'm not coming to the United States for you as a client. I'm not doing it. Okay. So out of office. I am out of office for certain internal and government holidays. A month is considered 4 weeks for me. In a contract month, it's 4 weeks. The 5th week, don't worry about what I'm doing in the 5th week, but that's usually when I take my vacation, right? So a lot of people will tell you, oh, if you take 5th week vacations, then how do you get paid the same? Because their contract is for a 4-week month. I help them to understand that what they're paying for is a 4-week month, right? So these are some of my off days. I was in a mastermind that required me to come into town. I'm going to focus on this mastermind. I'm paying $30,000 for a year. I'm not going to focus on you. I've had clients that are a part of that mastermind. I'm not going to talk about your business right now when I'm paying to learn about my business. Now, with my information that I'm learning, go over to your business? Yes, it will, but not during this time that I'm paying $30K for. No. When I'm back on the time that I have for you is when I'm going to start thinking about the information I just learned and how to apply it to your business. I'm not going to talk to you about it right now, right? Vacation. I have my own retreat, right? So I let them know, extremely limited communication and definitely no meetings. Y'all not stressing me out. Then I have my Thanksgiving holidays, my Christmas holidays. Those are really kind of the only holidays I take as holidays in and of themselves, because the other holidays are kind of wrapped into my vacations. So this is an example. It's at shaycannon.com/hours, HOURS. So if you want to go check that out for yourself. But yes, y'all have to have boundaries with yourself and with other people. Auntie Shaker says she feel attacked. Why? Because you got that calendar invite that said I'm out all next week. That is hilarious. You are not attacked, but you do need to, have boundaries for yourself, have boundaries for your clients, have things set up where people understand ahead of time. They are about to get all of my holidays for 2024. So how can you tell me that it's unfair that I'm off a week right here or off these days, right? You've known for a year. You've known for a year. And then in your contract, you only get 4 weeks out the month anyway. Okay? So you have to set your time freedom up. All right? Let's see. Mo said, oh, I have been beat over the head with these no impromptu. Listen, you better know. So let me ask y'all, have y'all learned anything today that you're going to apply so that you have more time freedom in your business? Because I do want you to be cognizant of it. I do want you to keep it top of mind and be intentional, because you don't get things that you wish for. You get things you are intentional about. Okay. So anybody can come off the mic and just tell me, did you learn something?
Ooh,
Yes. But Shaky, you go first.
you have to go on ahead because I got to let this marinate for a minute.
So it took me a really long time to get out of the like corporate America work hours have to be this, I have to do like, you know, it took me a really long time to get out of that. But what I have done because of you, friend, is I take the first 5 hours of my day, and it is my like I usually get up at 5 to go like walk or work out. Not today, but yeah, some days. And then and then at 10 o'clock is when I will start like work, right? And I know I'm only good until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So creatively. So then I can get like the bulk of creative work done. And then I take a break usually for a couple hours because ma'am comes home. I want to spend some time with her. I send her back upstairs, and then I'll do things that are not mindless, but they don't require creativity, right? And I can do that while I'm sitting on the couch with the TV on, right? Because it doesn't get in the way. And then I really try to be in bed by like 9:30 so that I can get the sleep I need to then wake up at 5 and take care of my body and my mental health. So my mental health is very much tied to exercise and moving around. Like I can't, y'all, let me tell you something. When Shay says she can sit at her desk for 14 hours and not go outside for weeks, so that's facts. I was like, I got to get out of here. I'm going to go walk. She was like, bye.
Bye. Stop disturbing me in my chair. What the hell? Yeah, but yes. Dania said I need to stick to 4-week months. My contract says it, but I'll be in the zone and don't even recognize I've overworked the month. Yes, ma'am, and you ain't getting paid for that. So cut it out. Cut it out, Dania. And plus your body and your mind needs to break, and your own business needs time. See, some of y'all don't have time for your own business because you're letting your clients overstep boundaries that either you ain't set or that you're not enforcing. Auntie Shaky, what you got?
Yeah, I just think I need therapy. So I honestly think I need therapy. I love to work. Like I am addicted to it. Like this past weekend, you know, my husband and I, we there was one day he didn't have to do nothing. I didn't have to do nothing. It was Sunday. And we stayed in the bed, and I woke up, I walked the dog instead of him walking the dog before he got home from work. And so all he had to do was just lay in the bed. And I just laid in the bed with him. And I ordered some DoorDash. Lord have mercy, that vexed my soul. It just costs too much money doing that versus just coming to pick it up.
Cut it out. Cut it out. We pay for any other convenience. It's other stuff you could be doing that you pay for. Cut it out.
Oh my God, it just vexed me. But anyway, we had, you know, so I ordered the food, right? And then there's a reminder that comes up on my calendar, and it says 30 minutes. You have a meeting, 2 p.m. with Shay Cannon. And I was like, I was stuck in this moment where this is beautiful that what we got going on right now, but I was like, I can't wait to talk about my business. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like, not that I robbed myself of anything, but if I had laid there for a whole day and opted not to go to that meeting, my whole mind would have went to what was I going to give up by not sitting with Shay for the next 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like that would have on a Sunday, like that would have haunted me.
Cause you be coming in like, why y'all already talking? Why y'all didn't wait for me? I told y'all I was gonna be a little late. Y'all should have started talking till I got here. What did I miss? Like, what are y'all talking about? And why does it seem important? And why I gotta wait for the replay?
Exactly. Because I'm not gonna watch the replay. I'm not.
I understand.
I ain't never watched the replay. But but what I'm saying is that, you know, I want to get to that point where it's okay to miss some things. And I'm not, you know, and I don't feel like right now my husband feels like he's top priority. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But because this business is just all I think about. I really, really like I'm tending to it like it's a infant. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes your infant needs more attention than your husband does.
Hmm. Does it now? So, what I'm gonna say is, so what I'm gonna say, Shaky, is like you will take the time for big stuff that you like, right? You just don't want to take the time for little stuff that you don't like. So, what I'm going to say is for your own personal time freedom, maybe you need to schedule more big things that you like because you'll opt for those things over working if it's something that you actually enjoy. Now, when it comes to your husband, you're going to have to understand that marriage is about doing stuff you don't want to do for the sake of what they want to do. It can't be about you all the time. So sometimes when it comes to him, you're going to have to take time for what he want to do.
Wait, hold up. What you mean it ain't about me all the time? No,
Go
I'm
cut it
just
out, cut it out,
kidding.
cut it out. Cut it out. I know. Look, that's how I be feeling. But I also know that when you look, when two become one, you got to nourish that one too, right? It can't just be you being nourished. So, yes, yes. So, yeah, I think that you should plan big things, like even with him, right? Plan some big things with him so that it's fun enough that you don't look at the phone because you know he hate that shit. So stop it. You know what I'm saying? Plan something where you can focus on him and the thing that y'all are doing, right? And not look at the phone. Like naturally you want to do it and you want to do it with him. So plan more of those things because laying in the bed ain't it for you. That's just gonna feel like
It ain't
excruciating
not.
pain.
You ain't lying.
Yeah, I know. So Z is over here on Facebook. She said, good morning, ladies. She's going to start setting work hours and incorporate fun time to relax. Yes. So let me tell y'all how crazy my brain is. I set time to relax, right? But the problem is when I relax, my creativity is sparked. And what is my creativity about? Business. So I always have to keep a notebook so I can just kind of gather the nuggets and just don't act on them. Like don't chat GPT nothing. Don't Google nothing. Don't sit at the computer to do nothing. Just write it in a notebook and then you'll come back to it. And that allows me to stay in the creativity and stay in the rest. But good Lord, y'all, I'm telling y'all, those even me getting a massage can be excruciating to me. Why? Because the moment I start to relax, my mind goes to business and I'm on that table and I can't write it down. And so now I start to get anxious and I'm getting stressed out on the massage table. So what do? I say, okay, you know, you need this massage. First of all, I can only do 90 minutes tops. And then I push that back down to 60 minutes. Because first of all, I don't know what it is with my sinuses, but I can't be face down for too long anyway, or be stressed out again because I can't stand for my nose to be clogged. But that was TMI. So now I do 60 minutes. So for most of the massage, I have to focus on a word. And that word is relax. 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 I focus on that word for the better part of my massage because I got it timed. If I'm face down, relax is the word I'm focused on. By the time she turned me over, I'm toward the end of my massage. So now I can stop thinking relax and go ahead and let my mind wander. It's always going to wander to some creativity for business, but I'm almost at the end and I'm okay with it, right? Because now I'm just a few moments away from being able to go write it down. So I know it's hard sometimes to give your body the rest that it needs, but find a technique so that you still get it. Find a technique so that you still are relaxing and rejuvenating. Because let me tell you, when you're forcing yourself to sit there and do stuff for long hours because, you know, you squirreled out and you still ain't got it done and the deadline is the same, go ahead and stop. Because you ain't doing nothing, number one. And number two, if you are doing anything, it ain't of high quality anyway. So you might as well stop early, come away from it, get some rest, go to bed on time, go to bed early, start early the next day, right? Because y'all think you're multitasking, you ain't doing nothing. You think if I just sit here and make myself do it, let me tell you, as you get up in age, you're going to realize you can't make yourself do nothing. Your brain be like, watch me squirrel out. It's not going to do it, right? But meanwhile, you're punishing your body still sitting in that position, sedentary for hours and hours and ain't getting nothing done. Get up, go lay down, go walk around, do what you got to do. All right.